fully in the mix. And look at this, Taco. They are just turning online, but high ground, a battle. Clicks and Epic Whale going for it.
And it's just straight grapple up. That's the method from Epic and Clicks. Epic, though, forced to fall back. Seems his damage a little bit too much to continue trying to hold height there for the time being. Duke threats more or less the same boat. Also try to look for a little bit of a height challenge here. Now Duke forced try and use his med kit, but using the med kit also means that he can't be moving directly behind threats. So this team wants to be careful, doesn't want to get too split here. As the zone continues to pull across the course of Lavish Lair, and it's Acorn and Cole still managing to hold on to height.
Did an excellent job defending against Clicks and Epic Whale. I'm actually surprised they managed to do that considering they had two singular towers based out a very difficult way to hold the zone, but you know what? They each hold their own, and look at this. Clicks continue to tear up here as he's at 5 eliminations, forced to the low ground. Epic Whale's down, no builds, has to rat his way into the edge here, and he has continued to go. He finds a solo in front of him. It's Cold. It might be Acorn as well. No, it's actually just Cold coming down, trying to single out Clicks, and he is super hurt, sandwiched between two players, but Acorn is there to back him up, and down goes Clicks and Epic inside top 10 of the ultimate low ground. Trashy here with just 4 eliminations, trying to make the best here, but they've already done so much. And the sleeper duo of Muzz and Paper securing high ground. This might be their game.
Muzz and Paper, though, drop in momentarily. Looks like they want to try and apply some pressure towards this bottom side. Rise of the Yamzo, when these two are together, the low ground demons really tend to shine here. As now it's just a Minish as a solo directly above Rise of the Yamzo. They've got ample mats to keep targeting forward. That's going to be a drop down momentarily from Paper and Muzz. They're trying to find these last few players standing in the lobby. But it's Rise, it's a Yamzo. Still continuing to control the low ground. Acorn in the back, he's just trying to go for the heal off.
He's just going for placement points right now, but one thing is clear. Rise and Yamzo are closing in on 10 eliminations, and we've seen game 1 wins with 10 elims back to back to back, but Acorn is that wild factor as he snipes up the high ground here. Rise and Yamzo get taken out to the hands of Muzz and Paper. Paper jumps down and goes for it all, and in the end,
through front side low. Peterbot and Pollo, though, not trying to let anybody have fun underneath them. They've got so much suppressive fire going into these low ground builds.
Worth noting, Paper is still alive as well in the zone. He makes it well into the top 10 now for another game. Absolutely incredible as he was by himself, and he falls to the hands of Miro, of Cooper, who, by the way, were taken out from 45th in game number 1. Here for game 2, their fight, they wait all the way back into the top 10 and plenty of eliminations to boot for it, to show for it as well. Boyo and Peterbot making up for this time too. Finds Chimp here on the high ground, and this is all but their game to lose at this point, as they have all of the momentum here in their favor.
Can't ever count out Aviv and Booga, though. Aviv with that Frenzy Yado, gonna make quick work of Scissor. Will manage to pick up the material, but at the expense of his white HP, at least the Flowberry Fizz will get Aviv back to full shield. Aviv and Booga now just trying to tarp directly underneath Peterbot and Pollo. Behind Peterbot, though, he spots out Cooper, who's trying to play spoiler to the high ground. Minimal chop, but it's gonna be Peterbot, Pollo challenging Booga, Aviv. Aviv knocked inside of the bush. Peterbot, Pollo, they know it's just them versus Booga. Booga gotta have some Flowberry Fizz or a Grapple Blade, because it's only a matter of time before he gets chopped there. Have to expect at least from the veteran experience inside of this lobby. Muzz just trying to sneak his way through these low ground builds. Read Ritual now gonna spot out. There is, in fact, a solo way up above everybody else, but
they know. I think he knows. Yes, he does. He recognizes Quanti was up there. You are not safe. And they end up popping a couple of shots here, but again, they have the knowledge of where the zone's gonna go. Look at how they get to the next security position here, right up above, and it's cost them a lot of material, but it is worth it as they turn and just destroy players round after round here. And Yamzo takes advantage of all the chaos. He's scaling up the side of these builds. He doesn't have any mats to work with. He doesn't care, though. He's just trying to get up and over, and he's just gonna have to fight his way through. He finds Noxie, but there's not enough time for him to pick up the med kit. Meanwhile, Threat's playing for the heal off. And one thing to know, Taco, all of these games have truly gone the distance. There have been just battle after battle. It really hasn't even looked like Heal-offs were a potential by any means, but this game right here, I think the story's the same. I think it's going to go all the way to the end, and it's going to come down to who can hit their shots.
Everybody down to their last build. Batman Booga doesn't even have any left. The elimination. Siphon Materials out of threats, though. Will buy a little bit of time, and Baka ignite for a pick onto Mew. Elimination opportunity slipping away as Ritual in real time having to recognize the fact, just waited a moment too long. Now he's got to force his way forward. Still trying to maintain, hanging out towards the backside of zone. Knows that there might be an opportunity. Gets a shot into his back. It's going to be Mew. Ritual tries to turn. Not going to be in time, though.
So close, and he couldn't get the finish, and he knew there was a player there, but he thought he was on the left side to make the wrong edit. Either way, back in with Cold and Acorn right now, who are still at 4 eliminations, but they're starting to set themselves up for the end game. Clix and Epic closing in on a top 10 here, too. And look at how quickly now they're starting to close that gap. There were so many points behind before, but now they are really starting to catch momentum here. They're starting to catch the wind in the sails, but Epic was left behind. A player jumps in. Clix leaves the door open for Epic, and unfortunately, he was nowhere there. And it's Boyo who jumps in and takes down Clix.
The deceit.
Look at high ground.
So unfortunate, but Cold, Acorn, it's just a grapple blade up. That is NA strategy for overtaking height or challenging on height. You grapple blade to the high ground, and it's just so crazy that it works, MDF. Cold and Acorn now suppressive fire into all the teams caught in the mid and low ground layer congestion. Tahi, Scented, they've got a deep run going for them this game, but unfortunately the med kits are gonna cut them short of staying there. In Ramiro and Cooper, point elimination, mild siphon on the materials. Clix Epic though, dropped to secondary height for the time being because of Peterbot and Poyo. Current high ground overlords.
Booga, Aviv, Iamzo, Rise, all of the big dogs are coming up, trying to take their stab at height, but more importantly, they just don't want to be in this crevice down low. This is what the grapple hooks allow you to do, play for these odd positions, and Clix now is in a world of trouble. He's been boxed up, he has to fight for it. It's not looking good. He goes down to the hands of Aaron. Meanwhile, in the low ground, Cooper and Miro continue to play the front side the way they have, staying down, finding points. It continues to rack up the death toll. Tally up here. The points are looking great for Cooper and Miro right now.
Cooper and Miro are just profiteering so heavily off of the low ground, picking off teams that try to isolate themselves more towards the backside of the zone, but Cooper won't be able to make it through the pre-existing builds, gets split off from Miro for a moment, and the stone tick damage, just too much for him to deal with. As now Miro uses his final shield potion. It's all about placement points. He's trying to hang again towards the backside of that zone, trying to stay ahead of the congestion, but nearly goes down. Quick moment of relief, but again with 0 builds, he's forced to the low ground. He's forced to just try and scurry around here, hope that nobody spots him out. Goes for a massive shot, but it's gonna be Iamzo who comes out on top.
And I love that. Iamzo and Rise played that smart. They jumped down with the ramp, edit together, making sure they don't leave any room for error. And they are playing exceptionally well. They're actually playing so good here that Peterbot and Boyo might just have a run for their money. There are no more heals here left to survive the White Storm. They just have to fight it all the way for the low ground. Iamzo knows how to play these peaks. It's textbook, but it's not good enough. The trades are good.
Iamzo on a completely different layer, but they are just tearing through everyone they encounter. A massive pickoff as far as point eliminations are concerned, but Rise and Iamzo, they're still moving, and Aviv can't be said for them because that's going to be an easy elimination. Solo in the backside, no chance.
Fully finished. Cole also gets taken out to the hands of Baka. So Baka and Pars also earning points here to get back inside that top 10 to start their day off to a strong number 2. But it's Rise and Iamzo right now who are literally climbing to the occasion here, trying to get that first place spot as Cooper and Miro is out of the game. Cold and Acorn are no longer a factor here. And so is Reet and Ritual, looking to make up for the downed game in the previous run. But Rise and Iamzo could be setting themselves up for this victory royale right here. We could be seeing repeat performances, back-to-backs happen here for teams that are consistent enough Reed and Ritual now taking the low ground fight. These points are worth a lot. Reed's gonna be so upset he misses the edits there, but Iyamzo falls a huge tag, not before Rise finishes off Subscript, so the trades are real. A solo here, right next to Rise, and the pressure's on. Luke falls from above. He needs those materials, but it's not gonna be enough. And Reed and Ritual continue to rack up here, and they need these points more than anyone else, and down goes Baka. Pars is a solo now in the water here, and the damage is done.
But way up above, all this calamity taking place in the low ground, it's going to be Quanti up top. Byla looking to try and ruin Reed and Ritual's opportunity for another victory around the day. Byla gets some decent damage into Reed, but now it's all hinging upon whether or not Quanti has enough heals to sustain this one out. Ritual gonna have to wait with this final medkit. Quanti actually opting to drop to the low ground, finds Ritual, but he needs to get the finishing blow. Ritual gonna box up immediately, and it's just enough space. It's just enough between him